Access episode 30. I can't believe it. To prove age hasn't dampened our awesomeness, check out what's coming up on the show this week. We visit Gearbox Software in Dallas for the latest on Aliens, Colonial Marines. Wish we had fatter purses after sampling the shiny delights of Gadget Show Live. And round up the sexiest news on Planet PlayStation. First up though, it's shouting and superpowers in our Game of the Week Prototype 2. Yes, Prototype 2 is here, which means we finally get to be a superhero. And our family's been murdered. And, we've been forcibly injected with a military super virus. OK, so Spandex Coronation Day isn't going quite like we'd planned. At worst, we'd pictured a gentle microwaving, which explains why Prototype's new hero, James Heller, is such an angry teddy bear. An angry, man-ingesting, tank-flinging teddy bear.
Sergeant Heller, why are you so cross?
Having become a godlike flesh sponge, Heller sets out to uncover the truth behind the viral outbreak and give the first game's hero, Alex Mercer, a thorough going over with the murder stick. That means lots of running up walls, swallowing people and eating their minds, and reducing everything within a 4-block radius to charred bits of car and person. The best way to describe Prototype 2 is as a destruction simulator. The plot is join the dot stuff, and Heller's characterisation tops out at really cross. But the game comes into its magical own once you've boosted your powers a little and you can do stuff like this. Or this. Or, if you're feeling really saucy, a bit of this. The general shape of the game is like GTA, but with more people being turned inside out. 3 sequentially unlocked areas which are handily colour-coded, the red zone being full of virus, the yellow zone having a bit of virus, and the green zone having none at all, until you turn up and start turning people into meat slurpees. Hello! And that's basically Prototype 2. Heller leaping and sort of flying around, flinging helicopters about with sticky tendrils, turning innocents into explosive biobombs, morally speaking Heller is a dark shade of grey, and generally tearing strips from the city with his bare, claw and hammer-shaped hands. Which, unless you like your superheroes bland with pants on the outside, is awesome. Prototype 2 is out on the 27th of April and gets 2 giant claw thumbs up from us. We're squeezing into our shiny news pants now because it's time for your PlayStation briefing. Now bear with us, we know a quantum conundrum sounds like a thing you'd hear Brian Cox chirping on about in Wonders of something or other, but actually it's the new cartoon physics puzzler from the brains behind the amazing Portal. As you'd expect, that means dimension-hopping puzzles, matter transformations and learning through science. It's also got a place where everything is made of fluff, however, so we're totally sold. Also selling us in a big way is the news coming out of Capcom's Big Spring Showcase, starting with Ninja Theory's Devil May Cry reboot. We've got to admit, freshly weaned hipster Dante is starting to grow on us, partly because we've always wanted to get out of bed like this, but mostly because he looks like putting a fresh spin on the action genre.
Put a spin on this.
Charming. Elsewhere, Resident Evil 6 is flashing its plot by revealing that this slap-headed young tyke is none other than the offspring of persistent series slimebag Albert Wesker. Normally we'd be wowed by this, but then Leon Kennedy and Chris Redfield have a big manly tangle of muscles and fringes, and everything else seems less important somehow.
Put your gun down, Chris. She's a key witness. We need her.
Yeah, blah blah blah. Do some more fighting. Rounding up the briefing with the characteristic blast of violence is Max Payne, seen here delivering his namesake via the magic of many shotguns in the upcoming Max Payne 3. There's the M this and the M that. Basically put them all together and you get shotguns. That was your PlayStation briefing. We'll have more news for you next week. Time for the spotlight to hit downloadables now. It's your weekly rundown of PlayStation's best on the store. We start big and pretty with a new map pack for the still utterly brilliant Uncharted 3. This meaty add-on chucks 4 fresh battle arenas into the multiplayer mix. There's Graveyard with its splashy water physics and grenade-lobbing boat, Old Quarter, which is old, a quarter of something and has a man dressed up as Ghost Rider, Oasis, which certainly doesn't look like our idea of one thanks to all the killing, and London Streets, unrealistically sunny, realistically containing red phone boxes. Continuing the trend of DLC for excellent games with the number 3 in the title is the Resurgence pack for BioWare's role-playing space romp Mass Effect 3. This multiplayer expansion hands out new playable races, so now you can play as exotic aliens as well as porking them in the main campaign. There are maps as well. Hydra and Condor are crammed full of H2O and lens flare respectively, plus you can shred ET guts with a Bond villain's base worth of new laser weaponry. Lovely. And to wrap things up, would Sir and Madam like to try a movie? We recommend Warrior, a grisly tale of biceps and brotherly beatdowns with Joel Edgerton and a rivetingly monstrous Tom Hardy.
The hell did I know? You had a choice, okay? You had a choice.
The boys play estranged MMA siblings in a film that starts spare and dramatic and ends up like Rocky with extra knee strikes and chokeholds, which, depending on your point of view, is either a good thing or a really good thing. Enjoy, and we'll be back with more from the store next week. Bonus level this week comes direct from Birmingham's NEC and the technophiliac paradise of the Gadget show live. We showed up with our trusty mic and camera, both of which looked like frumpy old codgers in a room full of futuristic Miss Universe contestants. I'm pretty sure Miss Universe will be a robot in the future. First, we buzzed by our pals at Codemasters.
With Dirt Sheldon at its core, what we wanted to do was create a really high-quality Destruction Derby-esque experience. It's not just about destruction. We've got these confrontational racing events in there as well, and we've got our hooning events that you can see behind us. But at its core, we think we've got this great high-quality experience.
Elsewhere, 2K's desert shooter Spec Ops The Line was on show, as was the always crowd-pleasing PlayStation Vita.
It's a fantastic piece of kit. The graphics are really, really good.
It was my first time and I thought it was absolutely amazing. I thought the graphics were really good and the game I played was really detailed.
The games that are on it are just phenomenal. It's just like doing it on a PS3, but it's in your hand.
Before we left, we had just enough time to race around the show floor looking at the weirdest and most wonderful gadgets before heading home to sulk about not being able to take them with us. This week's Access All Areas finds us back in Dallas to get the full Aliens Colonial Marines experience at developer Gearbox. That means chowing down in the mess, playing knifey table games, and getting an exclusive chat with the Alien Queen. Wow, she was rubbish. Luckily, the guys behind the game were on much better form.
Aliens Colonial Marines is the sequel to Aliens. With new characters and a new situation and a new chain of events. So we're not exactly sure what's going to happen. It's not like a retelling of an existing story.
A lot of times when you have the opportunity to kind of pay homage to it, we really do pay homage to it. And then there's also situations where for elements of horror and tension and suspense, we can't really just be so blatant about it because it's like, he's in the closet, he's in the closet. I mean, we do a little bit of that, but most of the time we actually want to make it so that the players are really surprised and scared in the situations.
So we're going to board the Sulaco. We're going to go back to LV-426 into Hadley's Hope. We're going to go to see the derelict.
It deals with the rescue squad who comes to find out what happened to the squad that was lost on Hadley's Hope. Kind of solving some of the mysteries of what happened to the Sulaco after it went around the prison planet.
And translating all of the fantasies that we have watching aliens, including smart guns, pulse rifles, flamethrowers, turrets from the director's cut, finding Xenos, why they're scary.
We were kind of given on a silver platter this idea of making an Aliens game, so that was an obvious no-brainer where it makes a lot of sense to make a game that's very shooter, action-oriented, but has scare moments and that kind of thing.
I have to thank Cameron because he made a perfect game for me. Thank you. The mechanics that they're in place with the idea of being a Colonial Marine with all of the gear and the armament and the weaponry, the armor, the whole motion tracker thing, all this kind of stuff, that makes for a perfect game. I mean, it's things that you want to do.
We also have stuff in the game that emulates even the aliens in Alien, the first one. The stick to the shadows, knock you on your ass and kill you kind of alien.
the fans are ravenous, and they know pretty much everything about this franchise, and so we listen to them because they actually do know what they're talking about, and that's really cool. They're a great resource, and they're great to work with.
Thanks to all at Gearbox for making every day of our visit seem like a day on the farm. Aliens Colonial Marines is out later this year, and we'll have more before then. Before we say goodbye, if you enjoyed last episode's magic-filled Harry Potter feature, head to our YouTube page at youtube.com/PlayStationAccess, where you'll find a bunch of stuff we couldn't squeeze in last week, including full interviews with Rupert Grint and Tom Felton, Warrick Davis talking about his favourite bits from the Creature Workshop.
For me, it's anything to do with me.
Now there's a modest fellow, and Natalia Tenya telling us what she likes to read about besides The Boy Wizard.
I need to read about incest and death and violence. Please stop talking to me.
OK, Nat. Go and have a watch, and we'll see you next week.